So guys, we are going to, in this section, we are going to be building our calculator app. So let's start. We are going to create a new project. The calculator app, the calculator is just an edge calculator, not a calculator, a normal calculator actually. So let's create a new project. We'll use empty activity. We'll call this edge calculator. So all these projects help you to learn how to build app, even though they are little projects. But what is there is that it help you to, if you just want to, from the beginning of your career, you want to build the next Facebook, I will tell you, for the next 5 years you keep learning without, before you know, you give up. Because the people that build those like people that build the Facebook app you are seeing, or the YouTube, or maybe Instagram, if you interview them, if you ask them how many years experience they have, you'll be very surprised. In short, like, before you know, you just give up. You will not have the courage to continue. You just imagine that if it is like this, let me just forget about it. But when you start it from gradually, before you know, you have gone far. You just imagine whereby instead of you building the next Facebook, you can build app that is a little bit similar to WhatsApp, that goes viral. Instead of you building the next Instagram, you can build little thing that when people see it, they will be very surprised how very beautiful and it can work very well for people. So you'll be excited, not trying to build the next Instagram, the next Twitter. Is almost impossible from the beginning. So let's click on finish. So our project is syncing. Let me just pause it. So the first thing we are going to do, we are going to be working on our UI. We are going to be designing the UI. So the work of this age calculator is that when you enter the age, the year you were born, the app is going to calculate from the time you were born to, from your year of birth to the day you are using the app, and give you the number of years, how old you are. So let's get started. The layer that we are going to use in this app will be so before working on the layers, I like doing this. I will set the UI, show system UI. Then the first thing I will do is that I'm going to go to my value resources. I'll go to the theme and change it to no action bar, and or just write and or no action bar. Then the color, I'm going to change this color. I want the action bar color to be changed. This color that you are seeing here, I want it to be changed. So I will come here, I will change this color, use custom color, change this one to like a dark gray, change this one to black. Should not be too black. That is that. Then if you check now, the color will change, color of everything will change. So that is that. So the next thing, I'll now go to my string to check if the name is age calculator. Then I'll come here and remove and set relative layout, because I see that relative layout to be okay for me. So I'm going to give this a padding. Now I did not explain padding. Padding is the distance within the app, the distance that is within the relative layer, the gap between all the form inputs, between all the form input, that is the edit text, and the with just a little gap within. within the relative layout that should demarcate, it should separate the content from going to the extreme part of the app. So this one is gap within, while the outside, the gap outside is margin, while the gap within is the padding, while the gap outside is the margin. So I will set the gap, the space within, as 16 dp, which is inside. So I'm now going to set a background color. Let me give it a background color of, I will use this color code. I have this color code that I have 3D 4149. So that is the color code I'm using. So I'm going to give my edit text. I will remove all this one. I don't need this one, all those attributes. The next thing I will set is I will write my age calculator. I will give it a name, age calculator. Now I'm going to give it, the width should be match parent. Then I will set text alignment to be center. Remember that when you are typing, you don't need to type the whole complete text alignment, just type the little part of it, it will give you the rest things. Then I'll set the text style to be bold, not italic, bold. Let me increase it so that we can see it properly. Then I will set text color to be white. Then text size to be 20 sp. So what am I going to do again? Let me set margin bottom, no, not margin top, margin bottom from any other thing, thing I'm going to put below. I will set the margin bottom from the rest of the layout, from the rest of the input, as 50 dp. So I want to bring in other things. So the other things that I want to bring in will be where user will enter his or her age and a button to click, then it will now display to the user. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a linear layout to package those inputs. I will set linear layout as a match parent wrap content. Then inside the linear layout, I want the linear layout to have orientation. The orientation, I want it to be vertical. Everything within the linear layout should go from top to bottom. Then I'm going to set give it an ID. ID will be layout underscore input, in case if I want to reference it. Then I will set it, I want it to, this input to be in the center, because if you look at it, it's just up here. So I would now set center in parent to be true. Center in parent to be true. Then what again? Then I'm going to set an edit text. The first thing I will set will be edit text. Edit text, I will set it to match parent wrap content. Then the height, I want the height to be 70 dp. Then what again? I want the text color to be white. Text color to be white. Then I'm going to set an hint. Enter Bettier. Then I want to set what again? Let me set hint color to be white. So that is that. So I want the input type to be number. I don't want user to enter text. So the next thing I'm going to bring in is the button. I will set the button to be match parent wrap content. Okay. The button height, I want the height of the button to be 70 dp. The height of the button to be 70 dp. I want to set the background color of the button to be black. Then I want to set text on the button. The button text, I want it to be, I'll just write calculate age. I think this is okay. So now I need a text view to display to the user his or her age. So I will give it text view as match parents. Then the height, I want the height to be 70 dp. Then I want to give it margin top from other inputs from the button as a 16 dp. I want a what again? I want the size of the text size inside of it to be 24 sp. Not that, 24 sp. Now I'm not going to give it any text. Let it just be empty, so it will just display. Nothing should be here, but when the user click on calculate, to just display everything to the user here. So what are we going to do next here? So everything is done here. So let's give them an ID. Let's start from this name, this edit text. We give it an ID so that we can reference it. We'll call it EDT. Let's call it EDT bet year. EDT bet year. The reason why I wrote EDT bet year, so that we'll know that first is an edit text before the ID. So here I will give it a button, btn calculate. So btn simply tells us that it's a button which is working for calculate. Then here ID txt, that is a text view which is for age results. So at this point we are done with our UI. We can run this app to see how it is on our emulator. We can run the app to see how it is on our emulator before we start the Java side of it. So our app is running. So let's wait for it. Your system might be mine, so it depends on the grade of the system. It can be, if you are using a good, very standard system, it will be very, very fast. Within some seconds, it will just build. So the app building, we want to just see how it is showing on the UI before we come to the Java side of it. Here we have issue, so we have error on our log. On our log cat, there's an error, there's an issue on our build. So what we are going to do is telling us that we should increase the dependency, we should increase the SDK level. So we'll just come here. Normally you encounter this issue, so you come here, change it to 34 as of the time that I'm recording this course. So you click on so successful. So we can now run our app and see the way it is. You can see this is our app now. If we enter any number, if we enter the age, nothing will work, nothing works. So let's come to the Java side. So when you come to the Java side, the first thing you are going to do is that you are going to reference all the IDs. So you use a private. The meaning of this private is that you want everything on this page not to be accessible, to just be dedicated to this page, to this class. You understand? So that's why we are using it like this. So that is it. So we use a private. We bring in the edit text. This is how we bring in edit text. Edit text. The first thing is edit text bet year. Edit text bet year. So the other thing we are going to bring in is a button calculate. So the next thing we are going to bring in is a text view. So call it a text view age results. So we'll now come to the onCreate method. The onCreate method, the edit text bet year is equal to find view by ID. So this is how we reference the ID from the XML. So the name we gave, the ID we gave it is a EDT bet year. The next one is a button calculate is equal to find view by ID arrow.id.btn calculate. That is the ID we gave it from the XML. So if you check, btn calculate is what we gave it here. Btn calculate. So that is what we are referencing. So the next thing we are going to reference is the text view age result is equal to find view by ID arrow.id dot txt age result. So it's now time for us, we just, this is initializing, this is to initialize the what we are going to use, those edit text button and text view, while this is referencing the id. So we need to initialize it, reference it before we can use them. We initialize them, reference them before we can use them. So for the button, so this is the way our program is going to be. Our program is going to be that when the user click on this button, it will now calculate the age and display it here. So how are we going to do? We are going to set what we call on click listener to the button. We'll say btn dot set on click. So once you write set on c click, it will give you the autocomplete. You use the first one, on click listener, you click enter. You now write new. Once you write new, then space, you see the next thing, view dot on click listener and the rest of thing. You click enter. It will give you the autocomplete of everything, because if you say you want to type all this thing, you will not think that it's very difficult to build an app, because the code are many. You can see all the code that he gave you. So if you say you want to be typing, you get discouraged. So now we need to now create another function or method inside this button, so that when this button is clicked, the function will be triggered. So what is the name of the function? We call this function calculate age. You can name it anything. It's not a must that you must use calculate age. So you hover on this, you just hover your mouse on this calculate age. It will ask you create method calculate. You click create it. So you now click on, don't click anonymous in on create, click main activity. So you click here, it will create it here. You can see that it just create everything, private void calculate age for you. So at this point now, we can now start writing our function, what we want the app to really do. Let me tell you, at this point you first of all initialize it, initialize them, reference them before you now set a button that user should click. And when the user click a button, you set a function what should work. This function, it is now that you want to write code that the function should behave so way. So now, how do we want this method or function to work? It is now time for us to write it. We'll now set a string. We'll set string called bet year. Bet. Remember, everything I'm teaching from all this in all this little app, you need to understand them, because if you don't understand them, the app we are going to create, the browser app and the wallpaper app, it will be very difficult for you, because I'm going from stage 1 to 2 to 3. I know why I'm going gradually. It's like going from one step to another. So the more we are going, the more it's getting difficult. So it's better you understand the first step before you go to the next step. So we will write string bet year is equal to, so this string now, this bet year is a variable. It's a variable and it's a string which is going to take the user's input. It's going to take input from the users. In this, it will connect here. It's going to take input from user here, from here. So I will now set bet year is equal to edit text year dot get the text entered by the user dot to string that it should convert it to a string, because we are working with string. We'll now say that we'll now give an if condition. We'll say if bet year dot is empty. If it is empty, this condition should be if it is not empty. So you will use as exclamation, which I've taught you that exclamation means not. So exclamation simply means that this code here means that if bet year is empty. So when you put exclamation, you are saying the opposite. You are trying to say the opposite. That is what that exclamation means. Exclamation mark means. So you are saying if bet year is not empty, then do the work that we want you to do. So what is the work that we want the app to do for us? We want the app to set an integer of bet year. Now this one, let me name it bet year string. This is bet year string. Bet year string. Why? This is the bet year that user is going to enter. So we'll now say bet year as a variable. The bet year as a variable. The bet year as a variable is equal to integer dot pass int. This integer dot pass int is telling you that, just watch what I will do. I'll say integer dot pass int. I'll now say bet year string, then cover it. It's telling you this means that get the input from the user and convert it to an integer, because what is here is a string. So when you get it, convert it to an integer, because if you don't put this pass string and you do this, there will be an error to tell you that you are giving us, just watch. If I remove this pass int and remove everything like this and put it this here, you can see just over it, it will tell you that we required integer, you are providing string. So it will now advise you wrap using integer.pass int. So if you click it, it will now wrap it back. So you are getting the input as a string, so you need to convert it to integer because it's integer that we need. So you now say integer we'll now say integer current year. Integer current year is equal to calendar Remember this calendar, you use a calendar java.util calendar dot get instance. You want to get the instance of a calendar that is built into the Android Studio. Get calendar dot year. So this is it. So here now, the first line of code is getting the input. Now the input has been gotten from the user. This line of code is converting it to an integer, while this line of code is getting the year, the current year that the user is using this app. So that's why we are using calendar.getInstant.getCalendar.year, the particular year that the app is being used. So that is it. So the next thing we are going to do is this. We are going to say so the next thing we are going to do now is that we are going to set age is equal to, this is where we are going to, this line of code has gotten the age that the user entered, while this line of code has gotten the current year that the user is using the app. So we are going to now do our calculation. We are going to say current year minus bet year. Current year minus bet year. This is our calculation. So is now going to get the current year minus the birth year. So we'll now say if age is greater or equal to 0, then it cannot display the age because it has calculated the age. Now it now need to display to the user. So now say text view result dot set text dot set text. So now write your age. Sorry, it need to be in string. Your age is plus age plus, we'll now put year here. Else, if it doesn't show the results, we'll now say that maybe the user just enter minus or whatever, or any kind of anything which is not appropriate. So it will not tell the user, it will not set an error that invalid birth year entered. Another else condition is that we don't want the user to enter an empty input. So now set another result. That another result will now be, another message will now be, please enter a birth year. So this is our app is completed. Our app is completed. So it's remaining for us to test the app. So let's run the app and see the result. So guys, let's see the way our app works. So the app has been installed. So let me just enter, if someone is born in the year 2000 let's calculate the age, showing that your age is 23. If the person is born 1998, let's calculate 25. Let's say the text, you can see that the text here, you can see that the text is just black, it's just dark. So let's change the text color. Let's click here, text color. Text color, will set it as white. So let's rerun. You can use this one to just rerun, to apply change, while you use this one to run the app. So I just apply change because it's not much. I want the text to be white, so I've set the text color to be white. So let's wait for the changes to be applied. So let me calculate again. So it's now white. If I enter the year 1994, say the person is 29, 1981, Say the person is 42. 1960. Say the person is 63. 1963. Person is 60 years. 60-year-old. So we are done with our age calculator. So I will see you in the next section. In the next section, we are going to continue with our browser app. And for this one, I'm going to the AdMob integration on the apps will be from the browser app and the wallpaper app, not on this app, because this app is very simple. But if you want to do it, once you learn it from the browser app and the wallpaper app, you will know how to integrate it even into this one. So see you in the next section.